I'm Dhruv, and thanks for clicking on this video. So you'll be one of three types of people watching this. Either you're considering buying this phone, you've already bought this phone, or you're just into tech and love watching these videos. Now the reason I'm bringing to bet most of you might be in the second and third category is that this smartphone has become the largest selling smartphone here in India. Though some of you might have something to say to Xiaomi about that availability. Xiaomi was one of the first smartphone makers to design and introduce metal phones to the budget segment in India. The Redmi Note 4 is a refinement of that design. Although a generation old at this point, it is still good value and it's very pleasing to look at. It's very symmetrical. Side note, as dope as that matte black model looks, I would suggest resist the urge to go for it. It looks stealthy and cool, yeah, but I've played around with that a while back. And within minutes of using it, it gets really smudgy and fingerprinty and it's a mess to keep clean. Right, metal phones are slippery and that's why most people land up putting a skin or a case over it. But this one is slippery to another level. I've never had my phone slip out of my pocket while sitting, but this one did. Now, the back, although metal, doesn't feel too solid. Something feels a bit off. All metal phones aren't built the same, we know that now. It's not badly built. It still feels reasonably reassuring and good to hold. But I've also used the Lenovo P2 which comes in a similar price range and that feels significantly more solidly built. Also, while we're on the back, let's talk about the camera. Here's the deal. It's just alright. The camera app itself is quite clean and I like using it. As for the camera itself, if you're looking for a phone in this range with a good camera, you'll have to look elsewhere. Videos aren't that impressive. And there's no stabilization offered here. Look, as long as you're taking pictures outside when the sun's up and pouring light on your subject, you should be good. But that's too specific a use case. It's when the sun goes down that a phone's really put to the test. And then Note 4 falls short here. There's noticeable frame drops in videos and significant increase in blurriness in your pictures. Look, it's not that camera that you're going to rely on for your night out or your next weekend trip. But it can take some decent shots if there's ample light and you have a steady hand. Look, I know it seems I've been roasting the Note 4 till now, but I promise things do get brighter from here on. Like that screen, in fact, it's bright enough, sharp enough, and saturated enough for me. And although I've been using a OnePlus 5 with my secondary SIM in it for the last couple of weeks, I'm never disappointed while coming back to this phone. And unless you're into virtual reality stuff, I doubt you'll have an issue with this screen either. And this theme continues onto the performance as well. It runs smoothly enough that you won't notice any lags and it's consistent but not silky smooth. If you've used a flagship phone in the last year or so and are shifting to this, then yes, you will notice that this phone opens apps slightly slower and isn't as smooth in doing things you do every day on your phone. What makes this more apparent is that apps are made to load out of memory more often than you'd like. The phone just does an average job of using its 4 gigs of RAM, but this RAM management does seem to help battery life. Look, the reviews of certified buyers on Flipkart are a testament to this fact. Along with its consistent performance, the battery life is one of the reasons why so many people thought it would be worthy to spend their money on this phone. And this is probably the best phone I've used in terms of preserving battery in standby mode. You keep your phone at your bedside for 8 hours and it just loses 2% battery, which is insane. Along with that 4000 mAh battery and the 625 processor, the optimization made by Xiaomi in MIUI is one of the biggest reasons for this endurance. In fact, MIUI has loads of features which people really seem to like. The theme store, app lock, remapping the nav buttons, 3-finger screenshots, reading mode are some I really like using. There's so many more that might be useful to others. Despite all these features, I appreciate the clean interface that Xiaomi has developed over time. And it's pleasant to look at. But I have a minor niggle out here. Google has its own idea of how a user interface on your phone should look like. Xiaomi has its own idea and they're great on their own and they're pretty clean. But a mashup of these two in the form of MIUI isn't quite cohesive enough. And it's not ideal, at least for me. Also, from time to time, I notice weird areas of lag, like while scrolling through the dialer once it reloads out of memory, and also while scrolling through my feed on Instagram. The lag in the dialer can be fixed by locking the app, but not Instagram. Another minor annoyance is with Google's app notifications. At least on the present software, they just don't work well for some reason. Though the Snapdragon 625 performs well in this phone and really most people won't have an issue, I think there are phones with the same core running stock Android that perform slightly smoother. Again, while these are annoyances for me, it might not matter to you. So that's up to you to decide. Look, here's the deal. I love using this phone a lot, and that's why I've been a bit harsh on this phone, and my opinions might be debatable. But one thing that's not debatable is what crazy value for money this smartphone is. The highest capacity RAM and storage variant makes the most sense to get. And they've been sales this festive season which let you grab that variant for 11,000 rupees. That this phone is good, no, great value was never in debate. But whether this phone is the right value for you is something you'll judge best. Speaking of the right value, I actually have another Xiaomi phone that you guys might be interested in. I'll have videos coming on this soon, so you can subscribe if you think you'll be interested in seeing those. Thank you so much for watching till the end. If you have any questions, you can put that down below. I'll answer those. And let me know what you think about this phone down below too. Thanks for watching once again. Hope to see you soon.